Okay, that was yesterday. That was the PM session. That was a review. This has already been reviewed. This needs to be reviewed. This is a review, and this is raw tape. Okay. So I have to review this and this, which is what we're on right now. I'm going to give it 5 minutes because that's all I have. And why review? Why sit down and review for 5 minutes? Because time is made, life and time are made up of the little penny pinching things that accrue over time, right? I'm still break even, lads. I went negative $75 today, which is a little over a point. That's interesting to think about. Um, I'm gonna ask somebody who trades for a living about it, if it's okay to oscillate. One day, my best day, I think I'm gonna review it again because it was my best day. I had a P&L of $350, and that was the day I started just this 10K basic. A lot of my trades are still emotional. I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to trade and I actually like it very much. And I'm starting to like it because I'm seeing progress. This I disagree with. It should probably be at around 1825. Maybe I was watching the order flow, and that's why I got short. There's a notch there at 1775. That might be why, but notice how they hold the floor at 50. That's actually good. I got out simply for the purpose of risk management. For the past couple days, I've been having trades run against me, 8 ticks, come back, and I'll win the trade. What? It's still eight ticks of being underwater, right? I don't know if I should keep that strategy. I most likely should. I see the professionals do that. They play from underwater sometimes. It's very interesting to think about. 1825 is the place to bid. I took a short there on the lowering. There's no tape though. 1775. Sorry, I was writing something down. 18 would be the place to bid. This bid is interesting. Let's see where it came from first. This will be the last trade I have to go. I forgot I have more things to do before I go to work. We hit 15, 1625. We hold there, 16, price breaks lower. 12, 7 to 15, 75, 10, right? See the 10 there that's absorbed, that's why I'm highlighting it, and then 13 trades 16.25, and the trade goes in my favor. The fact that we hit the 10 and then we moved against it is the reason for the trade. I can do one more. It's the same bid on 16. It looks like that 10 filling there, 13 at 16.25. What prevented me from getting long there was the lack of upticking around a 50. I just didn't like the price action very much. And now I'm going to let it run very far against me, most likely. I take two shorts here because I like it. I actually kind of agree with this method of trading, even though it's very, you know, some people might disagree with it, the martingaling. But if you trade off the order flow, the position doesn't really matter. I had a nasty trade the other day, 31.54 on 2-2. Okay. Hello, hello. Hello. Okay. It's 7:30. I got up at 7 instead of 4. I just laid in my bed, which I've done before, but this week was better. And the market is moving like this, meaning it's very fast. So there are no conditions for me to trade effectively is what I'm saying. But I traded nonetheless because I didn't want to feel like I wasted my time or because it's too precious to waste. But frankly, trading in these conditions isn't going to do anything. And I'm only saying that because I lost. If I had won, I'd say, look, I can trade in both conditions. Realistically, that's not what you should do. But I simply can't trade this. So I cut the late session off early. We're going to do some review instead. 2:05 was last night. This might be a review. That's me trading. That's me trading. It's more trading. There aren't any reviews on the channel because I've been trading. Uh, that's a that's a review. It ended at 31.25. When is this? Oh 03. We're backed up. There's almost no way I'm gonna watch all of this. And the things I'm writing, I think they just go away with screen time. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I forgot about this. I can say all that, but I'll just get better at trading. You know, the more time I put in. guess that's 25 minutes into the hour and 151. 202. Are we that backed up? 121. Uh-oh. 151. Yeah, we are. 31. And then okay. We're 31 into this. I had another review. I don't know where it went though. We're gonna watch each one twice. I actually agree with this method of trading now. Now, I used to criticize myself for this, for having poor risk management, a wide stop, and an early target, but uh, re- now not so much. When price gets back to your entry, people typically take it as a scratch. If it's back at your entry, that's a sign of strength in your favor. I added to the position there. I'm just watching the flow and the sitting of the bid ask now. Notice how we're sitting on 18 fast. We get below to 7. We get below to 75 on low volume. I have to mute and cough. And then the trade plays through. We're gonna watch it again. I stuck it there because I saw sellers at 19 and 21, 25 now at 18. Also, the absorption of buyers at 16. The absorption of buyers on the prints 16, and then price moves lower. Now I'm looking for somebody to hit 75. They offer higher this time. It looks like a 13 trades at 18.25, which is why I get out, and then price moves in my favor. So the plunge is for 3 ticks. The plunge is primarily aggressive sellers, and then down to 25 it dries up. This is another good short from a previously established balance area. Price is respecting the 18s up to 1850. So I agree with that trade completely. We get low now, price breaks through. If that made any sense. That that string of words I stuck together. There's a seller at 18 for 18. 10 trades 75. Sellers want lower now. That's great. And so I pull the order. I try to catch it, but I don't. I stick it again, expecting the same thing. It looks like the Q pulls a bit, trying to get buyers in before they move it lower. Notice how the price action is primarily Q driven. There isn't much on the inside prints. There's a 10 at 75 from buyers, and they use it to take price lower. They trade against him, I believe. That 12 at 75 looks good. The 14 as well. Notice how we can't get below after they sell. That's why I'm interested in this trade. I'm looking to hit against them, especially since tape ran out at 2250. They show up again, and we sit there again, right? Then 10 shows up on the buy side, but notice how the ask is shifting lower now. So it looks like we're trading against them. A good place to get off or get in here would be where tape stops, probably around 21.25 for a reversion play. We hit 25, and instead of buyers showing up, they just the queue is just pulled. I'm only going to review this once actually. Decent buy position. They tried to push it lower on active selling from sellers, which is great to see at 25 and 24 even. See the 21 at 24, and then price moves in the opposite direction. Combined with the upticking, I really like that. It looks like I'm winning these trades, but somehow I always end up like break even and negative. Somehow for the most part, I've been ending up break even, which is better than beforehand because beforehand I was negative. This is not counting fees, which will probably eat me alive. So I'm still technically negative. $35 at 25, $75 now. That scares me because of how much volume there is. It's abnormal relative to the participation I was trading. It looks like absorption. We're also by high of day, which makes me want to get out. We hold 25 now. I widen the stop, 13 trades, doesn't move, which is good. I get out. I should have held, because there are obviously sellers there. Just using common sense, I should have held. Right. Notice how they're selling on 26.52 now, low side. They're holding 25. Right, and they attack 43 and move down. So it was just, I overthought it and I was scared. It was just active sellers pushing price lower. I like this trade as well. The 27 on 75 selling lower. I'm just watching the queue now. But the question is if buyers are going to show up or they're going to give me a rotation in my favor, with either sellers pushing lower or buyers getting absorbed. They didn't get absorbed there. Two sevens at 50 and 75 tells me that they're moving price up. So what I was looking for was, obviously sellers or them to hit 21, or them to hit the bid at 26.75 at 26.25. Instead, we had two sevens, one at 75 and one at 50, and then nine traded on the inside prints on the ask on the bid. So that just means buyers stepped in. They're willing to pay higher prices there, which is obvious. But more important than that is the market is strong there, and that's why it sat on two sevens and a nine from the bid after 30 traded at 26.75. That's just gauging strength, which is something I need to get better at. We're gonna watch it again because I do need to get better at it. First, we see the aggressive upticking from buyers, 22 and something else on 77, and then it comes down. We sit there, so they get absorbed. We're still moving higher on lower volume than 30 trades on the ask, which moves price lower, and I think I have this trade in the bag. It stops at 50 because of this. It stops at 50 because of the 7. The market is strong there, and it's held up by 7 and then 9 on the inside prints, and we appear to be rallying in the opposite direction now. Even though there's a lack of volume, it just means that the order flow is there. Also, notice that the tape spams from 27 to 28.50. That means it was a stop run into the high of the day, even though there's no high of day line. And that's probably why the market was strong there, is because we were waiting, is because we knew we could trigger 6, 7, 8 ticks of stops, 2 points of stops if it was held. So that was primarily Q driven. It also makes me think, see how thick the ask is, all the way up to 30.75. I would say it's spoofed, but those are real orders. Now we're up at 31.25. Notice how we come down now. This looks like a plunge trade off of 32.75 and the thicker part at 32.25 of a smaller distribution. Uh, Realistically, I like to trade into 109 at 32.75 rather than against it, and so I got off. That's kind of a coin toss of a trade. I think we're going to hit 104. We did for 44, and then price moved lower. I like the 25 at 25. I moved my target because I was scared, but frankly, I would have held it. Also, the liquidity at 30.75, the 75 is interesting. And now notice how tape is drying up at 31. Not much on the inside prints anymore, and we're holding 25, right? And then the 11 trades and it moves price up, which is a sign of strength. I can't say I predicted the jump, the 3 tick jump, but that was a general indicator of strength. It's good that I'm sitting on my hands here because there's really a lack of opportunity relative to what I'd trade. This is a standard reversion play off of participation at 75. I pull my order because I'm giving it some leg room here. And by leg room, I mean 2 ticks, 3 ticks. Those people appear to be absorbed at 57, and the market wants to move lower temporarily, though there's no liquidity there, so it'd be good for a quick scalp and bad for a long-term hold. And then 33 trades, they absorb them, and the fact that we're below it tells me we're going to go against them. So I think we're moving lower now, probably down to 35. And the Q pulls at 35.25. 36.75. Notice how it's holding the floor. Then up at 37. And against the seller at 12. I mean the 12 on 37. And then buyers show up 17, 25. And then lower. All right. So 35 is a bid return pullback. I'm just trading the bid ask here. Notice how 10 trades. I pull it because it's a stale order. I don't pull it. I actually disagree with that trade because of how long the order sat. It was a good 2 tick scratch. I could have let it ran, but frankly the order was old. I, shucks. Tape stopped at the low. I concluded that price was going to move lower because we were resting there. Really, the problem here is that the order is too old. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best not to get irritated at myself for my past mistakes, and we're going to move forward. Same return pullback at the end of the distribution. At the end of the distribution at 34 even after price moves lower off of 34.25. They fill me there. I try the same short here. I move the stop up and take a big loss. It's running against me here now. I don't have the time to give this the dedication it deserves, but I'm not going to have the time in the future, so we have to review it now. It's good that there are no trades here. That makes me happy. 38.25 should be the place to trade. And then down. I could take the ledge there, yeah. Well, no, actually, that's a horrible place to trade. I got him because of the buyer at 75. We came down to 50 and sat. This is really no place to trade. It's effectively noise. So, um, pick spots more selectively. 30.25 would be a place to trade. That flip of the high volume node I disagree with. I interpreted it more as a ledge than the center point of the distribution, but it looks like it's the center point of the distribution. The 12 and 15s on the inside prints are what I'm watching here. The fact that it lifts up afterwards is good, and the fact that we sat at 35 is was the indicator for the trade. I'm hitting that same bid again on what I believe to be a ledge. In reality, what this really is the center of a long distribution from 30 to 70, 37.25. I remember from one of Grady's webinars that that reminds me I have to watch more trading related material. That the center of the distribution is just, even in bonds, it's like a coin toss. I'm chasing here. To me, it really looks like I'm over trading noise in the pre-market, no optimal spots. And then it runs away from me. And the other day I did that and I lost a lot of money. So I cut him early. We come up to 40.25. Notice the 23 trades at 40. They don't trade at 40.25 off the tape, and then 10 steps in on the sell. That's why I put the short on. It's a really good short, and I agree with it. I like the thin spot of the profile. I think it's a good place for a scalp. That's kind of like a textbook trade. Yes, it went against me, and then sellers show up at 40.50. They show up at 40.75 now, and it goes in the opposite direction. I like the trade. I said I like the spot. I like the spot because it's a low notch at 40.25, but relative to the actual profile, it would be 42.25 and 39.25. It goes fully against me there, and then price runs to high of day, and I know price is going to run high of day because they've been around for a while, and so I just know it's going to happen. Notice how we're accumulating at 44.25. I think I'm going to jump on here. I try to catch a short there, and then we hold 42.75 as a floor, which would be a good place to trade. I think I try to catch one there. Notice how we're just thinning out this distribution here. We're building between 42.75 and 44.25. I had a trade there. I have to see it now. The fact that we hit 38 at 44.25. The fact that we hit 38 at 25s and then 10 trades at 44. The bid ask sits at 44 even. That tells me I won the trade. I was on the right side of it in terms of areas. It was a great area to trade. I'm talking about areas and inside prints. I'm not reading the queue at all. I'm not looking at the block orders. There are people I know that pull things out of the queue profile and the bid ask that I don't even fathom. So we have some room for growth here. You know what I mean? Same short here. I choose to get out. I'm trapped here emotionally because of the pain. I'm not ignoring the pain. Right, there's a problem. 16 trades at 44.25. It's a great reason to get out. Even though 10 trades, it's absorbed. And now we're throwing 10s and 20s at 40.75, at 4.75, and then price breaks out. I chase the breakout here aggressively. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to break out. For the most part, it breaks out, runs a little bit in the pre-market. Last week it did that. Last week it ran a little bit, and then it came back all the way down. And so I have to be careful here. And I try to play that same rundown, and it works out in my favor. I pull the order because I know it's probably going back to 44.25 before any other decisions are made. 75, 31, 1, 1, 2. We come up 43, 12, 24. I have to watch the entry. We sit on the ask, 31 trades, 1, and then we rally up. Notice how we hold 75 and we don't get low. And then inside prints show up at 42.75, then 24 trades, and the trade's over. It's a great spot to trade to at 43. I would trade the entire range from 43 to 42.25. I seriously would. Especially 42.25, which is the better, more risk averse position. Notice how we bounce off that. I swear I had a trade here. Yeah. This is an early short. Very fast, too. We come to 44s. Tape dries up there. Very nice. 44, the 11 and 13, very strong indicator, good trade. I get in, they fill me, and price immediately moves in my favor. It's a beautiful trade. I like that trade so much because the tape dried up after strong buying. Then two strong sellers stepped in, and they filled me before moving lower, which is beautiful. Tape explodes here again, right? Maybe I'll try to catch it. Yeah. Okay. If I get a fill there, I'll wash it, but if I don't, I don't. I think I paused the tape here and literally argue with people on the internet. That was probably the worst trade of the day, is arguing with people on the internet. I meant to step away for 20 minutes and open Discord, that's why. Right. Uh, capital, severe mistake, honestly. 75, we're watching. We sit there. Three trades on the bid, that's great. One trades as well. The tape doesn't move. And then 13 trades at 45. Then sellers aggressively step in, meaning I caught the momentum on the right side, add a good part of the profile. It's a beautiful trade. I like it. They're kind of pushing back now. I move my stop because I think I'm probably just early. I'm gonna write that down. We're gonna do that tomorrow. So we're gonna not listen to music, and we're gonna have late curve profile spots. Late curve profile spots. But I rode that for 6 ticks in the opposite direction before price came back down. 27, very nice. 24 absorbed. They offer again, and then 10s trade. I'm scared, that's why I moved my stop. I actually held the most insane, dumbest. It made me so angry thinking about the trade I held. There's 2 hours. We're not going to be able to do that. We're going to cut it off at 10. Oh, what time is it? 6:28. I'm missing the other 202, 131. Yeah, that's the middle. Here's the beginning of the session. Here's the middle of the session, the beginning of the session, and that's the PM. We're going to do 3 more minutes. 7 more minutes. Okay. Right. If I kept that, only track misreads. Who cares? I'll do it all tomorrow. I'm running on low bandwidth, lads. Actually, the sleep deprivation isn't worth it. We'll finish it tomorrow. Um, tomorrow's Tuesday. I hope I'll be able to hit it. I'm actually gonna trade. I value that more than review, to be honest, because it's what the professionals value. Might be backwards. Um, it's not even worth the 6 minutes of sleep deprivation. I'm going to bed right now.